Lesbians. Girls kissing girls.
Holy crap, you're a virgin.
Do I have your attention? Girls' love, or yuri as it's also known, has been on a generational run lately that's long overdue. LGBTQIA+ people have been fighting for proper on-screen representation for years. I remember the days before shows like The Summer Hikaru Died. We ate off of bait, subtext, and lemon fix.
Here's your bundle of chihuahua dicks, Kyle.
Watanare gives us a little bit of what we've been missing. In fact, Watanare gives representation to an often ignored audience. Loser lesbians who find themselves surrounded by beautiful women who saw their Celeste playtime and still said, yeah, we can f***. I tease, but Watanare, short for this f***ing thing, is about self-proclaimed introvert Renako Amaori, her efforts to become more social, and the romantic and platonic connections she finds with the girls in her new friend group. I do not want this video to be a substitute for watching the whole show, so this won't be a full recap. Instead, what I'm going to do is discuss 3 scenes that I think are critical to conversation about the show. 2 scenes will be personal favorites, or scenes that I feel display the show's strengths. The other one will be a scene that I feel displays the show's shortcomings. Then, at the end, we'll talk about the future of the series and whether or not I can recommend it. Sound good? Then let's get right into it. Like and subscribe. There's a lot to appreciate right away, and that's why I chose a scene from the pilot to discuss first. This sequence alone is jam-packed with so many details that they didn't have to animate, but they did. Like the fumbling with her lunchbox, the messing around with the phone, the squishing of her thigh from the stress. I've seen lots of posts from the staff detailing cuts or frames that they worked on for certain episodes, and all of them have this very enthusiastic tone. It's clear the people working on this are proud of what they did, and I want to express my gratitude to them. Now, the particular scene that I want to discuss finds Renako on the roof in the middle of a breakdown. See, most of Renako's life up to this point has been spent as a shut-in. After a rough time in middle school, she entered a period of arrested development where she didn't really go anywhere or do anything.
It's arrested development.
So she changed schools, gave herself a total makeover, and tried to live life in a more extroverted way. But then she found herself wrapped into the friend group of the popular girls, known as the Quintet, headed by Mai Ozuka. So Renako feels the pressure to measure up to them, and sort of feels like she's bitten off more than she can chew. Mai catches Renako on the roof and thinks, this motherfucker is gonna jump me first, and knocks them both off. Well, they survive by landing in a tree and having a conversation about their feelings, and it ends with them becoming true friends. This scene is important because it gives both characters what they've been seeking internally. Renako is building important confidence that she'll need on this journey to be herself. She's speaking her mind and, simply put, just doing it. Just do it! And for Mai, this is the intimacy that she's never had. Her whole life has been a performance, be it for her mother or her classmates. Everywhere she goes, she has to be perfect Mai.
私は求められている大塚舞像をただ演じているだけかもしれないな。
But Renako provides her someone that she can be vulnerable with, because they both have essentially the same goal. They want to be known. Truly known for who they are. And isn't that something that a lot of people struggle with? In fact, I'd say that wanting to be known and loved for who you truly are is an essential part of the queer struggle itself. This whole conversation is so important because it's the catalyst for so much in this show. Renako and Mai spend time courting this weird in-between state of friends and girlfriends, and it's a great illustration of Renako's inability to choose and its consequences. Because while yes, this does get her out of her comfort zone and she gets to do cool things like go to a private pool and get kissed by Mai, she also has to navigate misunderstandings with Mai and issues with physical boundaries, and that's just in this episode alone. While Renako Renako is pushing herself, she's not fully committed. She's still trying to have her cake and eat it too.
In Renako's head, at least in the beginning, she thinks she can just float along, still blending into the group, having a new friend, and sating Mai with a kiss here and there for the next 3 years of high school, and that's simply not good. You either go all in or not at all, and you don't worry about the outcome of the other choice because it's gone. It's a simple philosophy that Renako struggles with for a very long time in this series, but the consequences of her connection with Mai are instrumental in helping Renako's growth.
I realize this turned into a pseudo-review of the first episode as a whole, but that's because there really is so much passion and so much to appreciate. Their goal was to make a strong first impression, and it worked. And speaking of coming on strong... in case the trigger warning wasn't enough of a hint, this is the bad scene, or the scene that I feel illustrates the show and its characters at their worst. The scene I'm talking about comes from the third episode that is ominously titled, "You Can't Effing Force Me." I'm not saying freaking, I'm not 11 years old. We all know what it was supposed to say. Say f*** or say effing. The scene starts on the heels of Renako hanging out with Ajisai, one of the other girls in the friend group that is slowly developing a crush on Renako. The two are playing video games at Renako's house because Mai had to work that day. However, Mai's work lets out early, she comes to visit, and the three of them, along with Renako's sister Haruna, play games together. Sunset comes, and when Haruna takes Ajisai to the train station, Mai starts to get physical with Renako. Mai openly admits that she's jealous of Ajisai.
私は今嫉妬に身を焦がしている。アジサイにこんな気持ちを抱いてしまうとはな。
Boy, if she only knew. And Mai tries to force Renako to be sexually intimate with her, going as far as undressing her to her bra and trying to initiate oral sex despite Renako's repeated denial of consent.
Psychologically, Mai is trying to claim a level of exclusivity with Renako that Ajisai doesn't have. Ajisai, seemingly out of nowhere, is getting all this attention from Renako. But it's not truly out of nowhere because Mai has been busy and technically they aren't girlfriends at this point, so there's no exclusivity clause, and above all, it's just hanging out with a friend. But Mai, frustrated with the already ambiguous nature of her relationship with Renako, wants her metaphorical trophy. Mai wants something with Renako that Mai can proudly know that only she has. The physical interaction is interrupted by Haruna coming back from the station. This is significant because Renako hadn't told Haruna anything about Mai prior to today. So seeing something like this is not only whiplash for Haruna, but deeply violating of Renako's privacy.
Renako slaps Mai. I think she should have done worse, and the last thing we see in the episode is Renako alone in her room in the dark. I don't want to mince words. I fucking hate this episode. I hate the unchecked audacity of Mai that likely comes from her privileged upbringing, and that sucks because in the first episode, she has a piece of dialogue that shows that she's self-aware of her privileged status.
私は見ての通り大塚舞だ。環境に恵まれているし、それに見合った努力もしている。
Oh, you want to know what stings even more? At the end of episode 1, Mai says,
無理やりは趣味じゃないんだ。
I hate listening to the pain in Renako's voice as she tries to rationalize. She blames herself for even getting into this situation with Mai in the first place. And while I agree that Renako shouldn't be in this weird waffling state with Mai and that things would be easier if she just made up her damn mind sometimes, none of that makes what Mai did okay. Mai let her jealousy overrule her consideration of this person that she's supposedly so in love with, and as a consequence, she hurt this vulnerable girl who's still trying to figure things out.
I want to clarify something before I go on. Mai does show genuine remorse over what she did. Literally, the next episode is about her trying to stage an event to find a new lover since, in her own words, she can no longer be with the person she truly loves because she hurt her. So she has to find someone she can try to love. Renako also makes it clear in this episode that she has romantic feelings for Mai and that she's not opposed to being physically intimate with her, but that there's a time and place for that.
Fight, kiss, 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 whatever. What I hate is that for even a second, this show made the same mistake that Kanazuki no Miko made 22 years ago and used sexual assault as a plot device.
I've also talked about this show and a ton of others. There's a link to the playlist in the description.
Small tangent. I love Satsuki, one of the other members of the quintet, but in episode 7, she literally forces herself on Renako in the exact same place that Mai did.
ここで舞に襲われたの。
さつきさん、そういうデリケートな話題は慎重に。
And the thing is, this plays into Satsuki's core struggle with identity and finding herself. Doesn't make what she did okay, I'm just trying to help you understand her motivations here.
Satsuki has spent so long shadowing Mai and is struggling to find out who she is outside of her. But Satsuki can't seem to figure it out, so outwardly, she's being this cool, curt person, but behind closed doors, she's still copying Mai. Satsuki is chasing the same girl and the same experiences as Mai in an attempt to understand why Mai keeps growing as a person, but Satsuki doesn't. You can hear it in her dialogue in this scene.
ここで舞に襲われたの。
And after, she says that she was just confirming something.
あなたを見て確かめたくなっただけ。
It doesn't take a lot of analysis to see that Mai is clearly on Satsuki's mind from start to finish. Satsuki's whole life is comparing when she should be focusing on finding her own feelings.
Satsuki could literally have her own video analyzing her character. Her struggle with personal identity is so captivating, especially later on in the light novels. And speaking of characters that I love... Okay, for context on this next scene, we have to fast forward to one of the later episodes that was actually part of the recent movie that released in Japan. I saw lots of cute photos from Japanese theaters of that. By this point in the show, Ajisai and Mai have both confessed to Renako, and Renako has decided to share her struggle with Kaho Koyanagi, one of the other girls in the friend group. And Renako is struggling to choose because she just can't fathom even being given the choice in the first place. And to some of us, a lot of us, Renako complaining about how her life is so hard because she has two beautiful lesbians fighting over her sounds like a lot of woe is me, self-loathing bull. And you'll be happy to hear that Kaho feels the same way.
This scene made me fall in love with Kaho because she gives a voice to the thoughts that I've been having the entire time watching this show.
Which boiled down to, get over yourself!
私モテてモテて困ってます。てか、リア充がよ！
Look, I understand and empathize with Renako's internal struggle. I get it. She doesn't see value in herself, which keeps her from choosing because she can't see why she would be given a choice in the first place. But you can't live your life without choosing. Sooner or later, decisions need to be made. You owe it to yourself and to the people involved to come to an earnest decision, or else you're wasting everyone's time. There will always be choices and there will always be consequences. We can't resolve every situation perfectly, but we can make our own choices and forge the path that results from them.
I like Kaho's character because she's a nice contrast to Renako. They complement each other and they both see things in each other that they like and even envy. Renako envies Kaho's extroversion because Kaho is able to be something that Renako can't be. Direct. Kaho is straightforward and says what's on her mind, and Renako is a fucking nerd. And Kaho envies how earnest Renako is. Despite everything she goes through, Renako still lives life as her authentic self, and Kaho is putting on airs to a degree. Renako faces every day as it is, and that's something that Kaho struggles to do.
This scene is so critical to the plot because it begins a very important dialogue that Renako has been avoiding this entire time. Kaho is the type of friend that speaks her mind and thus gives you perspective that you might not have had before. Watanare is a series about personal development, and that's why this scene needs to be discussed. Renako is a girl that just a little while ago thought she could never be anyone, much less in love. Mai is a girl that feels that no one would ever want to know the true her. Every girl in the quintet has something in them that they are on their own journey to explore and resolve. But resolution doesn't happen without a conflict or a climax. That's part of Freytag's pyramid.
This scene embodies the less glamorous parts of growth. Sometimes we'll hear things that we don't like. Sometimes we'll get into fights. But we can't avoid these things. They're inevitable, and we'll feel better if we face them head on, especially if we have good people like Kaho with us. So where do we go from here? Well, the light novel, as of the making of this video, is still being published. Of course, this may be where anime-only viewers end, and that's fine, but I do encourage you to check out the light novels. They're charming, they're a relatively easy read, so you can mainline Yuri heroin right into your veins. I like the light novels because they let you hear a lot more of Renako's internal monologue, and you really get to hear just how much of a loser she is. Like, listen to this. This is how she talks about Satsuki.
I looked back at her, and our eyes met. Oh God, Satsuki was one of the prettiest girls I'd ever laid eyes on. She had a great body too. She was taller than me, but for some reason, she had a smaller face. She was slender, but not bony. And don't tell anyone I said this, but I'd seen her boobs, and they were freaking incredible.
She's such a fucking donut, and I love her for it, but it is agonizing to read sometimes.
I think now is a great time to get into this series. The probability of a second season is way up thanks to the success of the movie. There's huge global hype, and most importantly, everyone agrees that we need more Yuri stories.
Despite what you might think, GL and Yuri stories are very difficult to get published and animated in Japan because there's a preconception that BL or yaoi stories and hetero stories will sell better. So by supporting this series, you're shifting the cultural tide and making things better not only for people right now, but for future authors. And that's not all. This show is about actually taking the first steps to living your own life and how anything is possible after that. And I think it's time I do that too. You see, on Twitter, I've been followed by major star Niachu for years now. And by the time I realized that she was following me, I was too scared to follow back because I thought she would see the notification and then unfollow me. This is my paralysis that I've dealt with for over 5 years. And I think it's time I stop running. I've decided. I'm making the choice. And I'm gonna follow her. Wow, look at that. I made a decision, and now I get to be mutuals with Niachu. Don't you see? Make a choice. Anything is possible. Anything is possible!
Show's great, 7 out of 10, would strongly recommend, and I've been the Hotbox. Thank you so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed. I am very eager to do more of these. It's been so long, but this show helped kickstart things for me again. I'll definitely be doing the show for my last community poll, as well as some others that I've been writing during my hiatus. If you have anything else you want to see me do a review of or a video on, drop it in the comments. It can be a video game, a TV show, a movie, an anime, anything. And if you're new here, why not subscribe? It's quick, it's easy, just takes a second, and you can always undo it, but it really does help out the channel a lot, so thank you. Whenever you're watching this, I hope you have a good rest of your day and an even better tomorrow. And I'll see you in the next episode of whatever I make. Until next time, bye! Whoops. What's up? I forgot to record a merch ad, so I'm gonna do that right now. I feel like there's a piece of merch on screen now, and then a different piece of merch, and those are all pieces of merch you should buy right away. And you can also use this code to get a discount. So give me money, dummies, hotbox.creator-spring.com. I recorded this at 7 a.m.
We ate off of... Instead, what we're gonna do... In fact, Watanare gives representation...
So much hair in that mask.
Yeah, we can fuck. I'm going to break my fucking neck. So she changed schools, gave herself a total makeover, and tried to live more life. What? The scene I'm talking about The two are playing video games at However, Mai's work cut. Get over yourself! Get over yourself! Get the fuck over yourself. Be so fucking for real. Despite everything that she goes through, Renako's still- Anything is possible! Didn't think it could be this hard to talk about lesbians.